Hey guys, how are you doing today?
Great.
Not too bad.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah, good to see you.
Yeah, same there. Uh, what uh, what we will discuss today? I want to introduce you to the whole Cosmos ecosystem community. So it would be very nice to have an introduction from you both. What are you doing? Like maybe it might be short or long as you wish. And let's start from there and go ahead.
Sure. I'll go ahead and take the lead. How far back do you want me to go? Do you want me to start at the beginning of my blockchain journey, or do you want me to start at Cosmos? Where would you like me to start?
Let's do it like you need to introduce yourself to like venture investor and you have only 1 or 2 minutes.
Okay, yeah. All right, I can do that. Yeah, so I'm Daniel Pittman, one of the co-founders of Coin Studios. Coin Studios is the company that's currently building Cosmic Horizon, the blockchain game. I started my adventure in blockchain back in 2011. I have experience in mining. I'm kind of old school like that. In 2017, I learned how to write Solidity smart contracts. So I've got Ethereum experience. And that was right around the same time that like CryptoKitties and CryptoPunks and all those kind of like precursors to blockchain games actually started. And that's where I gained interest in blockchain gaming. So 2017 or 2018, I ventured and did my first blockchain game. In 2019, I believe, or I can't remember the timeline. It's been so long. 2019, I'm going to say I did my second blockchain game. And then in 2021, William and I got together and started this bigger adventure. So, I found myself in Cosmos via Althea as one of their original testnet validators. I was currently looking for a job too, so I found myself ended up working at Regen Network. So right now I'm still employed with Regen Network, and I'm also again one of the co-founders of this project.
Just want to ask you 2 quick questions. First of them is why CryptoKitties are dead today, and why you are in the process of searching for a new job, and you already co-founder of Regen, and you employed in Regen, and you working on the Cosmic Horizon blockchain as well.
Right. So I'm not one of the co-founders of Regen. Just to maybe you misspoke there, but yeah. So to answer your first question, why is CryptoKitties dead? I think it only had one use case. You bred different cats, and that was kind of it. I don't know. I'm not one of the developers of the project, so unfortunately I don't have a really good answer for you. But I will give them credit. I mean, they are the ones that kind of sparked this idea of using NFTs in a different way, not just to store digital art, but to also have some kind of interaction between them. So, and it sparked, I'm sure, other game developers, not just me. I mean, how could it not? Really, at the time, all you were doing is you were sending crypto back and forth to people. CryptoKitties came along, and you're like, wait a minute, there's other things we can do. We can actually use the technology to kind of like create different art and maybe mix that art and have some smart contract operability. Yeah, so really, I don't know, but I do give them credit. As far as my job and all of that, so well, I needed a job, so I found Regen Network and I applied with them, plain and simple. It wasn't until probably the end of maybe working for them for about 8 months until I decided to start my own project on Cosmos. And that sparked because, of course, I'm already coming from a gaming background, and I saw that there was a big hole in Cosmos. There was no gaming. So logically, I wanted to build one, and that's kind of where William shows up in the picture as well.
Cool.
Yeah,
Sounds great.
I mean, I knew Dan, prior to that, for quite a while, and he actually kind of got me into just basically dabbling in crypto. Many years ago, but just dabbling. I was in Germany for a while working for a watch manufacturer. I came back home to Portland, and we lived in the same neighborhood. And just started. At first, there was we're kind of talking. There was Ether Chess, which was kind of a fun little concept that tinkering around with for a bit. And then, even before, he had introduced me to Althea, which was a distributed mesh network or internet provider or internet provision platform. So then, when I got back, Dan was at Regen. There's a lot of fun stuff happening in the ecosystem, in the Cosmos ecosystem. Osmosis was kicking off. There's just a lot happening, and he connected me with Althea. I started over there, and that's kind of where it began. And until one day we were sitting around talking, and Dan's like, "Hey, there's no gaming here. There's a lot of stuff. The Cosmos SDK, so flexible. There's so much stuff you can do." I mean, I was very aware of that too, at Althea, and so then we thought, hey, what can we do with that? But that said, you might also know me from from Gravity Bridge, which Althea took the lead development role on that one. They put that together. So if anybody recognized my name, I was the community manager over at Althea and Gravity Bridge, and you'll still find me in their Discord servers popping around.
Awesome, guys. You both have incredible background in crypto, and you've been there a lot of time. And from also your perspective, why do you think there is no game in Cosmos still? Because Cosmos was launched far time ago, and there is still no games. Why?
That's a really good question. I think that, when William and I first came up with Cosmic Horizon, there wasn't really many games at all, even on Ethereum. I think there was, I know quite a bit of the game developers over there, and there really wasn't much at all. And I think just in blockchain in general, there was just a lack of games. And, it kind of started with CryptoKitties, which was kind of a game. And, there's like Chibi Fighters. Gamification, absolutely. And, there's like Chibi Fighters and Axes, and those kinds of things were starting to gain, notoriety. There's a few others that were starting to build, but really at the time, I would say there was maybe 200 games in all of crypto. So there really wasn't anything. And Cosmos, Cosmos at the time kind of struck me as like the more nerdy, like very smart people build on Cosmos. Like it's not really like the average degen trader, even though we do have those, especially now, but it was really just like super focused, super smart people building really complex applications. So I'm not one of those. I'm more like, hey, let's have fun. So that's why I decided to build. But honestly, I don't know. I don't think there just wasn't that many games.
Yeah, I'd say even as just in general, just as Dan was saying, even today, it's still pretty fresh. There's some stuff out there, and there are now today games on Cosmos. If you go over to the, it's just a brief aside, there's the Cosmos gaming community.
Yeah.
And which I guess we'll probably mention later, but that's just it's a Discord community that we set up. Also, Liam from Confident Crypto runs the Twitter and sometimes does some events. But in there, we're now I'm going on a tangent. I wanted to answer a question, but there's some different developers in the Cosmos ecosystem that are focused on gaming, and that's kind of a space for developers to compare notes and just let everybody know that they exist. So there are some, but it's pretty small still. Why they don't exist?
A dozen people over there right now.
Probably because during that time period is a lot more lucrative to develop sort of financial instruments or tools that double stake, restake, liquid stake, because that's, especially in a bull market, that's where the money's at. And so anyone that had the kind of development experience is probably going to spend their time on something like that. That said, there's no reason anybody can't do anything. And so it's just a matter of time.
During our conversation on the our Russian-speaking community call a few days ago, you told that you are working on the blockchain that would be focused on gaming, right? And will this blockchain attract more developers for different games, or what's the purpose of this blockchain in general?
Yeah, that's a great question as well. Yeah, so plain and simple, that is kind of the end goal, is to have a place for other game developers, a template per se, as Cosmic Horizon being a template for other blockchain games that can be built using our specific technology. So short answer is yes, it should enable other developers. Currently, that's not necessarily our focus. Obviously, we want to get a product up off the ground. And the main purpose of the Coin Network is that it's built specifically for gaming. So we are using a lot of the obviously standard modules in Cosmos SDK, but we have specifically designed custom modules that are just for gaming. So there was a few problems that we kind of thought of and how those would be solved using blockchain technology, and then those have just kind of now come to fruition in our custom modules that we have. So it's a gaming specific blockchain, and right now we have a prototype called Cosmic Horizon that we're building, but not to say that somebody else couldn't just build another game and use the same modules.
And additionally, so yeah, of course, down the road we would hope that just like Aquifer, but differently. Hopefully, these modules are something that someone else making a game can say, "Hey, I need this functionality. I need this functionality. This chain provides that," and plug that in, and they'll be able to make a game they wouldn't otherwise be able to put together. But obviously, yeah, we have to implement all that stuff and make it work and test it out, which is what Cosmic Horizon is, and some subsequent other games down the road. And it'll be great once we get to that point. In the interim, it's also CosmWasm enabled, so there's no reason that some games that are maybe just a little bit simpler in the mechanics couldn't also launch on the chain if they wanted to. Right. Yeah. Yep. I know. Just to go back, just briefly, one other thing to mention is that I think a lot of for a long time, game development in blockchain was built around gamifying things that already existed. You say, hey, blockchain can do this. How can we make a game out of this thing that exists? And so now, like what we're doing, and I'm sure more people are, what's going to become the norm, is saying, hey, I want to make a game that has the functionalities that blockchain enables, but you have to build some of those tools yourself, so that you're kind of putting the horse in front of the cart.
Yeah.
That's really awesome. What do you think about the, how to say it better way? So you decided to make your own blockchain. You decided to make your own game. You designed some modules for your game. So how do you think, is it the target, the aim that you could achieve, that you could like finish. So start many chains have, as you could see, started their own chains, but they stopped developing, and it's like just like working, producing zero transaction blocks and so on. So could you achieve your targets or aims, or maybe you have some to like achieve 1 million users or something like that?
Yeah, absolutely. So this is something that we thought about almost immediately. So our approach is gaming first. Instead of a blockchain approach where build some really cool tech, even though we are doing that in it, but it's more underlying, where we want to build games that are fun. We want to build games that are visually stunning, and that are more akin to what is actually available currently in the standard gaming
Like
spheres, or Web2 gaming. So we really want to build games that are fun and interactive, but then also the blockchain component is more of a bonus. Even though it may be the powerhouse behind everything, the blockchain is really just kind of like the back end layer where
infrastructure.
the infrastructure, correct. So again, like for us to kind of achieve this, we did start. So just to kind of answer your question is pretty deep. So to start, we did start off with building the blockchain itself. So of course, in order for us to succeed in building this game, we had to have the underlying infrastructure, which we now have actually completed. So the blockchain that is needed to actually build Cosmic Horizon is completed, and that's what we're going to be launching here this month. As for the game, now we're starting to build that. This is going to be probably just as long as of a process, because of course we're building something we want to build something fun, something that people want to play because they just want to play it. And then again, the blockchain aspect is just a bonus. So yeah, if that makes any sense. Do you want to add something?
But I think we can make it. Yeah, if that was a question.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we're driven. And I guess to give you an idea of why we can make it, this is a hardcore bear market. We're still here. We're still building. And this is, I always tell people, I mean, I've been around for a long time, right? So I always tell people, this is the time that separates the boys from the men. If you're still here now and you're still building, you are serious. And that's exactly what we're doing. We're here, we're serious, and we're building.
On this bear market, bear with us and stay tuned.
Yeah, it's not easy, but we're doing it. I mean, we set out something. Typically, this is my personality. When I do something, I just pour my whole soul and heart and soul into it.
I feel that Cosmos ecosystem is full of such enthusiastic people like you, like we are, and that's incredible, because we are still there looking on this like red candles and
what are you gonna do?
Yeah. So life is life.
Yep, exactly.
Life is life.
We have to do our things that we started until we will.
Well, we love it,
Yeah.
and anybody who's here, again, like if you meet somebody that's still hardcore about crypto and blockchain right now, they're here because they love it. They absolutely believe in it. They absolutely just embrace every piece of it. And they're obviously not here for the money. I mean, everybody loves it, when it's good.
When it goes
but
up,
when it's red candles, all of a sudden people disappear. And the people that are still here are the ones that, maybe they have a more long-term outlook on it and they understand that things will recover, but also they see an opportunity. And I see an opportunity. Build during the bear market. It's great. And in fact, not just building, but we're getting ready to launch. So we're going to launch, hopefully get the continue to build up the base of loyal users, real crypto people that really truly believe in the tech. So I think there's just a lot of opportunity during a bear market, funny enough.
Being there opens like more flexibility in future, more ways to realize yourself or
Yep.
to impress yourself or something like that. And you become more flexible in the future. You see how to stay alive in these markets, and
Yep.
that's it.
Yep. Absolutely.
As you said, Daniel, on the community call that we met together first time, you said that you are a gamer. Could you both guys name 3 or 2 games in like Web 2 that you are playing or played that you are like think that this game is like something cool?
Yeah, I mean, there's lots. I'm not going to start with any of the space games that I play because that would be too akin to Cosmic Horizon. But one of the ones that I've been playing lately, I know it's been out for a while, but Red Dead Redemption 2 is great. I love it. I play that on my Steam Deck. So that's a really great game. Obviously, any of the Fallouts. Playing Fallout 4 currently. And then another one that's one of my all-time favorites that I just have always been kind of playing. I like first-person shooters, so any of the Battlefield series. So currently, I'm playing Battlefield. What is it? 2024, the latest one.
Yeah, so most of the stuff with me right now is pretty old. I've been going into like some of the GZ Wolfenstein mods that kind of getting my attention in terms of the for shooters. There's actually one blockchain shooter that I've been getting kind of into as well. Actually, it's pretty called Eve.io that I really enjoy. And then in terms of historically speaking, I will go ahead like one space game that I just has a special place in my heart. Was Wing Commander Privateer, the first one, and there's definitely some inspiration from that. I mean, nothing too blatant, but that was kind of my first. It was kind of an open world type concept. It had a lot of the same elements that came from other games I loved in the similar genre, but you could see it, and feel it, and really the graphics were really good at the time. And I'd say also, I never got into the other Civs, but I will still go back and play Civ 2. I can't. I try not to because it's it's a little.
I just finished a game of Civilization 2.
Yeah.
I see that you're so different in like your choices, and I also, as for me, I tried very different genres of games, such as like, for example, first-person shooter like Counter-Strike or something like that. Also, I really imagine that it would be really awesome if we will have something like Heroes of Might and Magic on the blockchain, because each of your step will be like as another one transaction. Claiming something will be another transaction. Every day might be a transaction or something like that. And also open the world is a very cool idea, something like World of Warcraft. I don't know why still nobody just added blockchain to the World of Warcraft to make it like something like...
I mean, I think it's just, again, we're kind of to go back to one of your other questions, why weren't there really many games on Cosmos? And it's just because we are only now finally building games that people want to actually play, like true traditional gamers want to play. So I think maybe we had to go through a progression of the technology, again, to call out CryptoKitties being kind of the very beginning, just very small interactions, to something as big as what we're building, which is a lot more like World of Warcraft, where it is open world, 24/7 interactive metaverse type gaming. So I think it's just that now, you've mentioned it. I would be highly surprised if there's not a gaming team out there right now building something like that.
Yeah. And I think once that's built, whoever makes that, it's just a question. If that takes off, then I think you'll see bigger studios adopt that. But right now, there's no financial incentive to change their business model. I mean, they got the teams there. They deploy how they deploy. They control everything. There's no reason to let users have that extra freedom to do what they want to do, because why would you? You're already making money.
I saw
actually. I think they're going to move more slowly, but it'll happen.
Yeah, yesterday actually, I saw there's a major gaming studio that's doing some crypto stuff. I can't remember who it is, but as of I just saw the news yesterday.
It's trendy. They're going to do little stuff. I mean, obviously people already mess around with NFTs. There'll be like little incremental pieces where they'll say it's blockchain, it's Web3, and there's this one little tiny piece of it. And that's how it'll start. But I figure if independent developers are successful, probably the industry will shift down the road.
Yeah.
Just how long that'll take, it's hard to say.
And today we have more modules to build these games, because some time ago we hadn't any to make it real. Okay, so what is your game? What is Cosmic Horizon about? Why you decided to make it, and what is difference of this game between others?
Yeah, that's a big question. Yeah. There's a lot. It's a big game. It's a big idea. It's gaming first. It's something that's open world. It's metaverse. It's strategy. It's a hybrid of a lot of the different games that we like. So actually, William, do you want to go ahead and start with this one? Yeah,
I'm going to try to give a summary, because the thing is, there's so many little rabbit holes you can kind of fall down. But essentially, and this is all, you can find this in the white paper, it's essentially a fusion of, oh God, I just had a little blank, like a normal space. Fuck, what is the metaphor I use in the goddamn white paper? All right, I have a great metaphor for this. It's a fusion of this and Risk. And now I'm freaking drawing a blank. I've said this 1,000 times over. Same damn thing over and over. But anyway, it's a big universe space trading game where that's sector based. So it's the universe functions a little bit like a Risk map, but times 10,000. And the players exist in this universe. You got aliens. Oh, everyone's an alien, but you got different types of aliens. And in the universe are outposts that sell commodities. So all these concepts have been around in other kind of space trading games before, where you fly to one place. This in the beginning level, you kind of start out, and it's a multiplayer game, obviously. So, I mean, when I say level, as you're beginning, you fly around the universe, you buy some commodities from one outpost, and then you sell them to another outpost. And by arbitraging those commodities, you can turn a profit. And then you can take the profits of your trades, save them up a little bit, and upgrade your ship, upgrade your hardware, upgrade your weapons, buy new ships, and things like that. Once you're a pretty savvy trader, you might join a syndicate, and then you can work collectively, and or even independently, and you might choose to start fortifying a sector of space that you're going to make your home base. And in those sectors, and you'll choose something strategic that's maybe easy to defend, but you'll build planets. And those planets, then you have to deposit colonists on to populate. They will also produce commodities, and those planets you can upgrade as well to, and then fortify so that people can't steal your planets. And that's the thing, is your things can be stolen if you get blown up and you have something on you, the commodities you have on you, or if you have some tokens in your ship at that time, the other player can snatch them up. And similarly, if you develop a planet, someone could, in theory, come and destroy all of your defenses, conquer it, and now that's their planet unless you take it back. So that's and then of course, if you add a layer of working collectively with other players, now you've got little teams that can fortify different pockets of space and essentially try to exert control over different areas of space. That's just the player level and the outposts. In addition to that, you've got the Star Dock or the Star Mall, excuse me, where you've got different shops and different things you can do and other ways to interact with the game. If you want to put a bounty on someone, you can put a bounty on them. And then if someone blows them up, they can collect that bounty. And so there's essentially, you can play the game as a trader, focus more on development with planets, or you could go around just attacking people and try to get ahead that way. But it's a big universe, so everyone has space to set up their territory. And of course, you can put out drones to collect tolls from people. So if they're passing through, they got to pay the toll, or they have to blow up your drone. That's kind of up to, again, how they want to handle it. And then, there's just different strategies you can employ depending on how you want to play the game.
Yeah, that's a great summary.
In a nutshell.
Yeah, no, that's a great summary. Yeah. And then just to kind of add to that, to the second part of your question, so what's unique? William already mentioned one of them, the fact that you can blow up other people's ships and you can take their stuff. So you can steal other people's crypto.
Sorry, is it like something like on-chain robbery?
Well, it is. It's like you're. So I mean, it's not like you're not hacking anybody's wallet and doing it without their permission. That's actually where one of our modules comes in. The game manager module is kind of the overseer of the game and how everything kind of operates. It stops people from cheating, and it also basically, when you join the game, you kind of deposit whatever items you're using in game to play. So if your ships, your NFTs, all those kinds of things, you're giving the control of you still own control, and you need, it needs your signature and able to do, to actually move them away from you, but still you're kind of giving the game manager module part of a multi-sig control of your stuff. So that way, if you decide to just flee or whatever it may be, you have to sign to get your stuff back. And if you sign when you lost, you're not taking anything. So, one of the unique.
Oh yeah, I just mentioned that if you have, let's say you've saved up you've earned some Coho, the in-game token. It's not constantly in jeopardy. There's a bank mechanism, so you can deposit there. You don't always have to carry everything with you all the time. It's only what you've got on you that's in danger.
Right.
Just imagine. Would it be possible to top up your heroes balances with like Osmo or Juno or Atom tokens? If you, for example, have a very good character with many different defense points or something like that, so it might be very interesting for others to take some of his resources, such as like tokens, for example, or fractions of tokens or fractions of different NFTs,
and store them in the game. That's a really interesting concept, and thank you for the amazing idea. I mean, currently it's not something that we've planned or implemented. However,
the closest thing is we did talk. So beyond the basic game functions that we described, there'll be sort of side quests and other little tasks for people to accomplish if they want to win prizes or do other things like that. We did talk briefly about some sort of treasure chest or little kind of things that, because of Cosmos and that interoperability, we could potentially include in something like that. So yeah, you could, in theory, have some Juno or have some whatever, have some other token that's out there that you've grabbed and it's in the game manager module. I don't think we've. It's kind of on the drawing board. Yeah.
Well, so what you mentioned specifically, no, we haven't designed anything like that. Obviously, a total possibility with IBC. I mean, it's totally possible. One thing that we are including, though, is that we are including eco credits from the regen network. So there's a mechanism in game where you're creating planets, and you may need to terraform planets because each different planet type gives you a different type of resource. So maybe you have one too many of one type of planet and you don't really need those resources anymore. Well, you can retire regen network eco credits and terraform your planet. So we're already playing with the idea of using other chains applications within the game. So one kind of really neat aspect, which is a newer function of Cosmos, is ICA. So we don't really even need to have tokens on our chain. People can interact with Regen Network from our chain. So I think this is why I love like this internet of blockchains that we have with Cosmos. Like we have a true powerhouse of different applications that can interact with each other. And you don't need to build certain things on chain. And with IBC and ICA, I mean, it's truly interoperable and interactive. So we are playing again with like regen and doing that, but I love that idea. And I mean, in the future, you may see that. You may absolutely see that there's other tokens in our game.
Yeah, the game management doesn't have that particular functionality, but
it doesn't mean we can't build it, right?
Yeah.
Just for example, using also IBC, you may utilize different IBC tokens from different blockchains in your marketplace to, for example, buy ships or something like that.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah. Speaking of development, how big is your team? How many people are involved in development of your game?
So the game, we've got a team of 4 people working on that currently. We've got a couple of blockchain developers, and then there's various contractors and community managers and that kind of a thing. We're a very small team still. We really are.
Is it like okay for you at this moment?
How do you mean?
I mean that is it enough for you, or you need more people?
I mean, we're always looking to grow. Obviously, the more people that we have, the faster development goes. Right now, we have what we need in order to accomplish the things that we've set out to accomplish. So we are at a point where we've already have the people that we have, and we know how long it's going to take with those people. Now, obviously, if we doubled the size of the team, it might go twice as fast or 4 times as fast or however. But currently, we're as you asked, we're okay. Like with what we have, we're good enough.
We're getting there. Yeah.
We're getting there. Yes.
Maybe you have like any issues or something on your GitHub that some developers could join development and like interact with you. Maybe you could like share some your thoughts how developers could be involved in the development of your blockchain.
Yeah. Thank you for that. Absolutely. I think that's one thing that every new blockchain or startup is looking for is obviously blockchain. It's all about community. It's all about community building. It makes it easier on us if the community is helping us out. So absolutely. So I started actually on GitHub. I started doing these sorts of issues where people can actually get involved. So it's very much like any other Cosmos project. We've got an open source GitHub. We'll periodically post issues there. Something I need to get a little bit better about, but more it's just that there hasn't been really any interest from the community that we have currently to help. Now, if there are interested people in the Cosmos community that are willing to help us or whatever it is, I'm more than willing to work with them and maybe take on a sort of developer relations role within our company to help onboard community developers, and definitely would appreciate any help. I mean, it would be tremendous. And really it kind of goes back to the kind of ethos of what we're trying to build, especially with blockchain. This is supposed to be community oriented. It's supposed to belong to the community. We're really just kind of the original road builders. Our job is finished when the game is running itself, the community is pitching in, and it belongs to the community. So yeah, we're more than happy to have open source developers help us out.
As game developers, you should you should be interested in tokenomics design, because most of the games are like dead, or they were dead since they were created, because they didn't have any ideas how to like make a in-game economics, and how to utilize their own tokens, how to make it at least a little bit valuable from the beginning or something like that. So what developers or game developers or just game creators should do or should have in mind to make good in-game economics?
Yeah, that's a good question. I haven't really thought about it as in the advice side of things. I can tell you kind of what we were doing. So I think one of the benefits of building during a bear market is the fact that people aren't necessarily just throwing money at every project or any token. So we have to be very careful and very meticulous about how we design our tokenomics. For instance, we're using on Osmosis, once we finally launch on there, we'll be using a USDC pair. And that creates hopefully stability of our token, where we're not dependent on the other side of that pair. Like let's say, like most people, there's always an Osmosis or an Atom pair. Well, now all of a sudden your token fluctuates with the price of that token. So you've got kind of this double end, where hopefully if we get things right on our end, hopefully the fluctuations will be a lot less. Another thing that we're doing is we're starting off with low inflation. So and all of this stuff, me and William are learning by watching the mistakes of others. Right, William?
I think that's the key. That's like a really key point, because just watching how the ecosystem functions over the course of a couple of years is a lot of lessons of what not to do, but also it's a little bit different. I think, I don't know if I'm even in a position to give advice, but I think if you're going to approach, and also you have the question of the in-game token economy and then the chain token economy. So those are kind of two different questions. But from the chain perspective, it's almost beneficial to try to aim for utility and not necessarily in value or like projected value or hoping that the token will do anything. Because as long as it stays stable, you've done everything right. You don't need it you shouldn't want to make money from your token. Right. If people want to buy it, that's fantastic. But you don't want to rely on speculation or trying to ride these curves or hope that another token blows up and carries you up with it, because that's going to mess up your I don't think it's very sustainable, and B, it's going to cause other issues down the road. So basically, don't do everything that people normally do with tokens for normal projects. And like Dan said, I think aiming for stability, we'll see how it plays out, but at least you lose out on, because maybe the market goes bananas and you could
maybe
have
it
your
spikes.
token. Yeah. And everyone could say, hey, this token's worth so much, this guy, check out this project. And just from the token value, you get extra eyes. You lose on that end. But by isolating or insulating yourself from those fluctuations on both sides, hopefully people just get that token because they want to use it. And if your token people acquire it for its utility, you should be okay.
Yeah.
Just,
Yeah, and we're really aiming.
Just look
aiming
on
for
other
If you can
people.
sustain that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just said
Go ahead.
just look on mistakes of others and
Yes.
do better.
Yeah.
I mean, exactly. And that's the thing, like we're at this point, we're standing on wouldn't say this the shoulders of giants, but people have already built a lot of this stuff. Like why should we fall into the same trap of doing the same thing over and over again? Like, we're here to innovate. Let's try something else out. We know what not to do. We know what things work. So maybe, we take a little bit of what works and we cut out what doesn't work, and then we kind of add our own flavor to it. So as far as tokenomics, again, ours are a little bit more complex because we do have to worry about kind of two economies where we've got the chain and then we've got the in-game economy, which is a whole nother beast. So,
and I think after beta testing, we would be great people to ask that question. We say, you know what? We did this.
right.
You should do that. But it's on paper, I think everything looks great. But until we get some testing done, it's hard to say that everything's dialed in. But hopefully it is. Because there's a lot of cool little features that built into the primary chain that supplement the in-game economy and keep that kind of moving, so it doesn't stagnate. And hopefully it all plays out exactly how it's written now. But we won't know that till we get a little more testing done.
Yeah.
Awesome, Daniel. You told that during the community call that you won't launch the game until you will have like sustainable tokenomics in your vision. So do you have any timelines when you will have something like to show for the people?
I mean, we can show some of the in-game like flight mechanisms and interacting with some of the different menus on kind of a single player basis, but we don't really have any of the multiplayer stuff quite ready. And there's just really so much to the game that I could show you something and it's cool, but I mean, if you want, I could show you some stuff, but like,
we are not in a rush. We are not in a rush.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's you said
we're going to put some clips up of like the test builds that, like you said, are single player, but we don't have anything visual that demonstrates like the economy yet. And with that, you kind of have to get some people into the first alpha, and then you'll have that. I mean, and you just go and see how it works. I mean, I think it should. That said, if you can take a glance at the, we have two tokenomics stocks. The one for the in-game economy is a pretty good broad roadmap of how that should work. And at the end of the day, it's just a question of how much can a single person potentially sort of pull out of the system in a given window of time, and then versus how much is going in. And so as long as it's not constantly going in one direction for a very long and extended period of time, it should pretty much function, but you'll still, it doesn't just have to function. It has to kind of be engaging and really work just right so that everyone's having a good time. So getting it to work and keeping the sustainable, like the economy sustainable, that's not too hard. It's just making it that it's also fun and engaging. People have earned something for their labor, but can't destroy the economy at the same time. That kind of balance is what we have to get dialed in. But for a good broad overview, the in-game tokenomics,
absolutely,
it was worth a look.
Yeah, and you said it. We're not in a rush. We're here for the long haul. We're building something that it's really big. We have a massive vision, and it's going to take time to really get it right and to really build it the way that we want it. One of the reasons that we're building our blockchain is because blockchains are, should be forever. So really, I mean, that's our long-term vision, is that we have a blockchain. We've got 1 game, 2 games, 3 games, 4 games, and continue to build out all the games. Cosmic Horizon is, again, our prototype. It's our very first venture with this specific blockchain itself. So we'll see how it plays out. I would love to have maybe start the alpha, by the end of the year would be great. Q1 of next year. At some point next year, for sure, we're going to have people starting to play the game and testing out, bug testing, and we'll have bug bounties and all that good stuff.
Yes, when we are not in rush, it is better than we are in rush, obviously.
Yeah.
And building blockchains might be a little bit complicated, so we have to wait.
Exactly.
Also, it's a relatively small project, so I mean, we are, going as quick. We're trying to go as quick as we can, but this stuff takes time, and it's a smaller project, so we're just keep pushing ahead.
But you're confident that you could cope with it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, we already made a lot of progress.
We really have.
6 months. I mean, it's dramatic.
It's kind of amazing what we have done. Just kind of looking back at where we started and seeing where we are at now. It's really amazing. And again, we're a small team, and we've got a long road ahead of us, but we haven't overfilled our plate, if that's what you're getting at. Like we're very confident in what we're doing. We have the technical abilities and we have the drive to really make something like this succeed.
People already, if I remember it correctly, people already could join the movement using NFTs or on Stargaze or Omniflix, right?
Mm-hmm.
These NFTs would have utility, in-game utility. Could you briefly explain what this will be? So if I remember, these NFTs would be like on-chain accounts, so you can join the game without your NFT. And what's the difference between these two collections?
Yeah, sure. So I'll start off. With the Stargaze stuff, and I'll let you talk about Omniflix if that's cool, William. So Stargaze, that was our very first kind of NFT sale, and it was to help bootstrap our game and everything. But really, the main purpose of those NFTs is that's what we call the Genesis collection. They are 3 of the races that are rare. I mean, they're legendary if you want. There's only so many of those, and they will never be minted again. So the ones that exist right now on Stargaze are the only ones that will ever exist of that kind. So that's the Callan, the Terrari, and the Betic. So each one of them kind of has, William had kind of mentioned this a little bit, if you want to be a trader or if you want to kind of just be like a pirate that destroys people and loots people. So each one of them kind of has this mechanics sort of built into them, or at least pushes you in one direction. So the Callan, for example, are more the warrior race. So they're the ones with the more powerful ships, and they're kind of more like the people who destroy things. They like to go out and they like to conquer. So that's the opportunity that's presented with those NFTs specifically. To another point that you were making is the utility in game. So obviously these are the characters that you'll be using in game. Those are the ships that you'll be using in game. The avatars have one purpose and the ships have another purpose. What's really cool about NFTs? Did you want to?
I just want to just to clarify, in case it isn't clear, it's a little bit like just like a Dungeons and Dragons character sheet, or like any other kind of game where you have a character.
That's what I was going to get into. Yeah.
Okay, and then okay, never mind. Sorry, Dan.
No, you're good. Yeah, so basically what's really cool about NFTs is that they store data, not just JPEGs or PNGs or whatever. You can store the level, You can store how many tokens the player has. You can store their inventory. You can store a list of data inside of the avatar, and you can do that inside of the ship too, where we store the types of cargo that's being currently shipped, and those kinds of things, the defensive levels that they have, the attack ratios, all of those kinds of things are stored basically on chain in the form of an NFT that holds data for you.
Sorry for interrupting. I just got an idea. So maybe you could create in-game outposts with another games, so it would be like based on your own SDK, for example, so people could create their own games, or for example like mint another collection for like card trading, so it might be like in-game something like that.
Yeah,
dude, we're talking about that, man.
Because we've been talking about that.
Especially the cards thing. I was saying that because you could take, I mean, as Dan was, I don't want to interrupt because he was saying that, but I mean, with that thing, that means you can, that NFT, that ship, or that whatever it is, you can plug that into another game if you wanted to. I mean, you could not only give it to another person, but having that in your wallet, another game could easily recognize that. And if you're playing like a card game, a collectible card trading game, there's a lot of overlap in terms of the themes and elements. And if, for example, if you had a spell or a ship in that game, you could take that into Cosmic Horizon, or vice versa. And so you could have one NFT could have utility in two places, or you could find that object in Cosmic Horizon that has no utility to you there,
yep,
but take it out and it does have utility in another game. And that game doesn't even have to be made by us, as long as they're in the ecosystem. That's so funny you said that. Again, sorry to interrupt, Dan, but yeah,
I mean,
we've been talking about this a lot lately.
Well, it's the one thing that we're really excited about is again, just to use that word a million times, the interoperability. The fact that now games don't have to really be so independent anymore. A game studio can create one game, partner with another company, and now those two games work together.
I mean, if you go on the website, you'll see in some section there's some notes about 4 auxiliary games that are just on paper right now. There's no development on. There's just basic planning and kind of some concepts that are written down. But that is the entire concept that if once Cosmic Horizon is in place, as fast as possible, throw up some of these other things like that, which I think would be really engaging. Plus, that interoperability is so cool. I mean, I think once people hear about it, it's just going to blow. I don't know. I think it's really just wild. I think it'd be pretty neat. Yeah. Just like, and imagine on a big company, you go and you're playing whatever the latest EA or whatever the latest freaking, I don't know. You got Darth Vader and you go and take him and you play him in FIFA 2023. Right. He's your defender. I mean, like that could happen. I mean, it's not going to happen, but that's what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm. Just imagine how I will pick Ronaldo and go to the Battlefield game or later to another one.
Exactly. And I mean, that's kind of the thing. You've got your spaceship and all of a sudden you're in a racing game and you're flying your spaceship around and you're fine tuning the engine and you're making it better. And then you're like, cool, now I'm going to bring this awesome ship back to Cosmic Horizon. And I'm going to start blowing people up. I'm going to be faster. And it's just like, there's just so much that you can do interoperable between games. And I think that's one of the true powers of Web3 gaming. You've got the sovereignty and ownership of your assets, but then the interoperability of it is just so exciting to me. I can't wait. We're actually in talks with another game right now. Who's like, hey, how are we going to do this? We want to somehow make this happen. So there's already talks of this kind of stuff happening, and we have the technology. The technology is already built. Let's just go for it.
And also just from kind of a marketing or community perspective, the idea of completely separate projects sharing, enabling that interoperability of certain elements from the other game. It's so cool. You bring your players from one project onto the other. You get a little, you're trading back it's that flow. I don't know. It's pretty good. There's just a lot of opportunities there. I think once people start, once we get there.
From that point, we like feel that we are like so early in this sphere. So
yes.
That's everything that I wanted to need today from my side. Maybe you want to add something, and also maybe you want to share your thoughts, how community could be involved, how people could stay tuned with you and learn more about Cosmic Horizon, about your blockchain, to participate in game development, in maybe to like just share their ideas that they wanted to be in their games that they want to play.
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of ways to participate. Obviously, we have Discord servers, we have Telegram servers, we have GitHub's repositories. There's Medium articles out there. We have a YouTube. I mean, the list really goes on. We might not be very widely known, but we're very reachable, and that's kind of the nice part about being a startup, is the fact that if new community members come into our Discord, they can reach out to us directly, and we can point them in any direction that they would like to go, offer them any kind of help that they would possibly need. So we welcome any community into ours, and we're more than ready to help and do all those sorts of things for our community and their community to succeed. So to take a little bit from just our very last conversation we just had, there's so much work to be done together. And let's build communities together, and let's just really just be together and work together to grow something just amazing for the future. So yeah, and become like an ambassador program and stuff like that. Go ahead, William.
Yeah. But probably as a shorter answer version, the best place to start, I'd say the Discord server, probably the Cosmic Horizon Discord server, or if you're a little more blockchain oriented, the Coin Discord server. And either you're going to find our community manager also speaks Russian. So, there's if you're a little shy with English,
I was going to say,
don't hesitate.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, William, but last meeting at the community call, you were wondering how you knew about us. I spoke with Roman, our community manager, and he said he spoke to you guys. That's how you know about Cosmic Horizon. I don't remember how long ago it was, but he's like, did they know who you were? Because I went on there and I talked about you guys. And I'm like, yeah, actually, he was trying to figure out how the hell he knew us. And I was like, well, I don't know. We've been around for a little while, so maybe but yeah, so Roman's definitely active in your community as well. So I'm sure some of your watchers know who he is. I guarantee it.
But we have like a amazingly big flow of different projects, communities, and so on and so on and etc. And I really can't cope with the flow of this.
I get that.
Information. I feel the same way.
Yeah, but I really enjoyed during our last conversation the point when you said that you are creating some modules that specifically built from your game and for the on-chain gaming experience. So it is very big difference between other projects that just creating something and making buy our tokens. It would be very valuable, trust us, and that's it from their point. And I think you will be you will reach your success if you will continue doing your steps day by day as in everything. Also, one last thing: when people could meet you in real life, when they could communicate with you, maybe you will be a speaker or just as participant on different maybe conferences or something like that.
Yep, come to Cosmoverse 2023 in Istanbul. We'll be there. We'll be there, and we're planning on throwing maybe a small get together, nothing too extravagant, but we're definitely going to be at the convention. We'll probably be pretty easily recognized because we'll have some outfits on
Our
that.
uniforms.
We started doing this in Colombia when we went last time, so we have these very shiny uniforms that are easily recognizable. So don't hesitate to walk up to us and talk to us. We're super happy to. I mean, it's really an honor. Like, if you come and talk to us as a community member, I'm going to be blown away. I'm going to be like, wow, somebody actually cares about what I'm doing. And I will spend all the time that I need to talk to anybody. So yeah, come to Istanbul if you can. Hopefully next year there'll be some more events, but right now this year, that's the only one that we have planned.
Yeah, unless something comes up in the United States, but that's the only one that's that's scheduled right now.
And the very last thing, it is my own like advice for you, for those who will watch this video. One thing that people forget to make in cryptosphere, I think it is like workshops, to make workshops to show how to work with their own product. Because many blockchains creating some like DeFi stuff or something like that, but they don't try to show how to work with it. And community usually show how to do with it, but community members could be like wrong, or they could have different vision of all of this tooling and stuff they created. So do more workshops.
Absolutely, and you'll be seeing that. And I'm already starting to do a little bit of that. We've got a Git book where I'm starting to create guides. Very basic at the moment, but yeah, we're planning on doing videos and video explainers and all that stuff. Again, we're still we want to get our stuff done first. So we have something to present to the world, and once we have something to present, then we'll make sure that everybody knows how it works, how to interact with it, and all of that. That's great advice. Thank you for that.
I really love the way how you do it.
Yeah, great, man. Thank you.
Cosmos documentation in general, regardless of the project, can be pretty hairy sometimes. So
you have to be. You have to be very smart. You have to be like a genius to figure some of this stuff out, I swear. But yeah, no, thanks again for having us on here. Really appreciated talking to you last time, and I'm really happy that you wanted to speak to us again. I'm glad that William was able to join us this time. So in the future, if your community wants to hear from us again, we're more than happy to come and talk and meet people and answer any kind of questions that they have.
Do you want to join other communities to have a call with them? Maybe somebody will watch this video and think that, these cool guys, I want to have it on my calls on something like that. So
absolutely.
Yeah, totally.
Yep.
Cool.
That'd be awesome.
We're more than happy to do that.
Cool. Thanks for joining me today. It was like it was a pleasure to have you today.
Yeah, likewise. It's a great call. I thought we went really long too.
Yeah, it was pretty long. Yeah. That's always a good sign.
I love to build Cosmos ecosystem in general. It's like being all-time enthusiast ambassador of Cosmos without getting paid, but maybe it will be paid in the future. It is also
well.
And your setup though is really great. The Posthuman, like all the stuff you're doing there, that's really cool. I was looking at your website and like.
It's really popular.
I think you're on the right track. Yeah,
it's really popular, man. You've got a great community over there. We have a lot of Russian. A lot of your community is our community. Like they're also part of our community, and they speak highly Posthuman. They're always like, hey, we need to get these guys as validators. They need to be a validator. We need to get them in our community. And so, when William reached out to you, or I don't know how that.
Yeah, I think so. Oh yeah, because from the Gravity Bridge. Yeah.
Oh, from Gravity Bridge, yeah. So I mean, it's a very small ecosystem. So when William was like, "Oh, I spoke to so and so from Posthuman," and I'm like, I know somebody from there too. And then so it's really great. I'm happy that we were able to get together. So, but yeah, I mean, I don't want to cut this. I mean, we've already been talking an hour, and I do kind of have to get back to what I was doing before. But yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, over now.
So.
But it's been great. Yeah, thank you. I really appreciate it. Had a good time.
Thanks a lot for that.
And hello to the entire community.
Yeah, exactly. Cool. Well, yeah, man. Unless you have